So thanks, Charlotte, for coming for this coaching session. As you know, it won't take too long. It's just to understand how you can improve your sales with regards to PHEV cars. Mm-hmm. So just give me a view. I mean, how do you feel about selling PHEV cars?
I mean, I don't feel as confident as other models in the range right now, to be honest.
Okay. Well, as we discussed in our review last week, what's clear is your conversion rates with regards to PHEV vehicles aren't as good as what you do on petrol cars, for example. Mm-hmm. And clearly the market's going that way. So I think it's quite important that we understand what we need to do in order to lift your ability to sell these sorts of cars. So maybe just as an opener, where would you rate your level of knowledge on the topic of PHEV? So 1, you know nothing. 10, you know everything. And I'm going to give you a bit of a challenge. You can't pick 5.
Okay. I would say maybe like a 3 or 4.
Okay. Well, firstly, thank you for your honesty, because 3 tells me you've got some learning to do.
Yeah.
So let's say, if we were to say this time in a month's time, where would you like to be in terms of a number?
In a month, at least a 5.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to try to push you to a 5 to a 6.
Yeah.
Perhaps,
okay, let's say 6.
Okay, good. Now, tell me, with regards to a 6, what do you think a 6 should be able to do?
Well, I would say just have a wider range of knowledge.
Okay.
So when customers ask more technical questions, the knowledge is there, so I don't have to go and find it out.
Okay, I'd agree with that. So maybe a deeper, you're not a technician and I wouldn't expect you to be at that point, but you do need some degree of technical knowledge with regards to PHEV. So I'd definitely go with that.
Yep.
And probably that's one of the development areas you need, your technical knowledge. So it's definitely one. What else do you think would push you to a 6?
Being able to use that then to persuasively sell. So use that as a way to help kind of close that sale.
So the sort of selling technique.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And I think, to be fair, just those 2 points alone, sort of broadening your level of technical knowledge and then looking at how you'd sell, I think given a month, I mean, it's not a long time, so I think we don't want to push you too hard.
Yeah.
So I think those are probably 2 good points to focus on.
Okay.
So if we take each one of those, technical knowledge to start with, where do you think, or how do you think you can develop your level of technical awareness?
I guess I could use the internet more. So maybe BMW.com. Have a look on the website to see if there's any information there that I haven't already got.
So I think that's definitely a good starting point, because that will give you what customers see.
Yes.
So that's probably a good start. Have you been on BMW.com recently?
Yes, but not specifically for the PHEVs.
Okay. So I think that's a good starting point, but sadly, we need you to have a deeper level of knowledge and access to information, or rather more access to information than what customers may have.
Sure.
So that's definitely step 1. But if we wanted to go a little bit deeper, where could you get that knowledge from, do you think?
I guess there's other places online that I could look. Maybe the BMW YouTube channel, where there's more videos. Maybe reviews, so trusted review videos or sites of the car. That might give a broader range of information.
God, I mean, there must be thousands of videos. I mean, how would you decide which ones to watch?
I mean, I could always ask some of the other team if they have specific websites that they have looked at, or look for ones that are by trusted, named sites.
Okay, that's a good one, because I think a lot of them will watch different programs or different channels, let's say on YouTube, and I guess, you've also got to be careful you're listening to fact rather than people's opinions, especially negative opinions.
Yeah.
So I guess in that way, you've got to make sure you're watching the right videos.
Yeah.
So I think going on to BMW.com, yes. Going on to BMW's YouTube channel, I definitely agree with that. Looking at reviews, maybe trusted, as you say, trusted brands, magazines could also help you. Talking to team members, yes. Here's an interesting one. When's the last time you drove a PHEV car?
When we first got them
Okay,
in,
so it's quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So do you think you'd get much from driving one?
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would definitely help. You know, that's one of the things that is a great selling point for a customer, is being able to explain to them how it feels when you're driving it. So
Right.
maybe I'm not actually using that in my sales process because I haven't driven it recently. So I'm just not mentioning that when I'm selling, because it's not at the forefront of my mind because I haven't driven it.
Okay, so if I gave you a car to use for a couple of days, how would you use that to help you sell a car?
I think that would be really helpful, just to be more aware of the features, how it differs from the other models in the range, so how it differs from just a petrol or a diesel, just to get more comparisons, so then there's more information and confidence about the car kind of in the forefront of my mind when I'm coming to selling it.
Okay, well, let me suggest this. Maybe if we say for the first week, we'll leave you to manage your website knowledge. And I'd love to hear, sort of like every couple of days, what you've looked at, because it might help other people as well, who need knowledge on PHEV, especially new people who are joining us as well. So it'd be great to understand how effective the sites are that you've looked at and the videos that you've looked at. So maybe we'll do that in week 1. And then maybe from the second week, if we've done well there, I'll give you a car to use for a few days.
Cool.
So what do you think I could expect back if I were to give you the use of a car for 3 days?
I think I would definitely feel more confident talking about the car.
Okay.
I would have more understanding of its key selling points.
Okay.
Because I would have used it, so I would have more awareness.
Okay.
And be able to, I think I'd be able to talk about it more authentically.
Oh, okay, no, and I'd agree with that. And I think perhaps it would be a good time at the end of that second week to give you an opportunity to tell people about that.
Yes, I think that would help. Sometimes when I talk about it, it makes it more easier, and the information kind of stays in, you know, the more you talk about it.
So do you think if we're during one of our sales meetings in the morning,
yes,
it could be that after you've had a couple of days with the car?
Yes, yeah.
How would you feel about that?
I would feel nervous, but I think that I could do that, yeah.
Okay, because that will help you, I think, with the knowledge, and you know, we're a good bunch.
Yeah,
I think. So
yeah, I think that like pressure to do that, knowing that I have to do that, will just improve my confidence and give me something to work towards. So yes, I think that would help.
Okay, so that's great, I would say, from a knowledge perspective. And in a minute we'll make a summary, because I'll need a plan from you in terms of what you're going to commit to. Selling techniques, so that's a bit more of a difficult one, I think.
Yes.
What sort of thoughts have you got? What could you do to improve?
I think with more knowledge will bring more confidence and clarity around the points that I should be talking about with customers, which will hopefully give them more trust in my ability to sell the car. So maybe the knowledge part in itself is quite a big chunk of being able to sell more effectively, because it will come across to the customer. But I also think that it is a different car to sell. It's a different target market. So maybe I could probably learn from some others in the team that are already selling. You know, maybe they're selling more, so I could learn something from them.
So do you have anyone in mind?
John sells quite a lot, I've noticed.
He does. And he's quite a revolutionary when it comes to electricity in cars, isn't he?
Yes, that it's clearly a passion for him. So.
And how do you feel about asking him for some support?
Yeah, I think I could ask him. Yeah. Yeah, I feel confident to do that.
Okay, so I'll leave you to speak to John, and I'd like an update as to where you get. Where else do you think you can get an idea on how to sell a concept of electric? Because technical knowledge is one thing.
Yes.
But actually the idea of someone shifting and influencing someone to shift from what could be normality
Yeah.
to something completely different. And in some, in some cases now it will be law soon to not have petrol, etc.
Yeah.
And I think that takes a different skill. It's not necessarily knowledge
Yes.
to influence someone that way.
Yeah.
So where do you think, or how do you think we can get you into a stronger position influencing someone who may be against electric power
Yeah.
and moving them towards it? Any thoughts?
I guess because it's more it's a lifestyle choice.
Yep.
Or a lifestyle change.
Yep.
And so I think it's more about it seems to me hearing that it's maybe more about the conversation about the evolution of it with customers, or what are their thoughts on it, and being more kind of open to the conversation about the lifestyle change as opposed to trying to directly sell the vehicle. So maybe being more mindful of their thoughts and feelings around electric.
And how would you establish that?
I'm thinking maybe do more research into sustainable living, what other cars are on the market, maybe read some blogs or articles about electric vehicles or
I think it's perfect.
The
I think for me that's the right thing to do. I mean, do you know how many charging stations there are around?
Not off the top of my head.
And being honest, neither do I. But should we know?
Yes, we probably should know.
Because I think one of the issues I often hear from customers is, are we ready?
Yeah.
What happens if I run out of charge?
Yes.
And, nowadays we know there are enough charging stations. I read that quite soon we'll have as many charging stations as we will do petrol stations.
Yeah.
But I don't know how convincing those statements are.
Yes,
So what do you think in terms of getting yourself convinced? Is that something you can do?
Yes, I think knowing how many charging stations there are, being more aware of just sustainable living as a choice would definitely help in conversation. But also maybe if it was possible to watch John selling, so go in on one of his kind of presentations so that I can kind of observe and see what kind of things he puts into the presentation that might be quite handy.
I think John, he's a helpful guy. So
yeah.
Do you think there's anything from the government on this topic in terms of on the websites or anything like that?
Yeah, there's probably some information that would also help the customers to make a choice, whether that's a grant or whether that's information about the future or how things are changing depending on where people live.
So do you think that could help you?
Yeah, I think that would probably help looking at that too. So I have a broader range of knowledge.
Indeed. So I think that's the other one, to look at government websites.
Okay.
Because that could definitely help you, I would say. So you've got talking to John, doing some market research, finding out where the charging stations are, looking at sustainable living as a topic, independent perhaps of the car. Looking at the government websites might convince you that there's a future there.
Yeah.
Anything else that you can think of that would help you in terms of how to sell? I mean, for example, is there anything on YouTube in terms of how to sell? It may not be car related, but you know.
Possibly, yes. Yeah, maybe just how to be more confident selling, or some kind of video that might talk more about just sales technique.
Okay.
I guess it wouldn't harm just learning from other, because I've only ever sold BMWs, so it might be good to learn.
Okay, well, it's all out there, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So look, let me just do a summary of where we are. You've put yourself at a 3 at the moment, so which is honest, so great for that. We'd like to get you up to a 6 as quick as we can because the inquiries are coming in thick and fast. 2 areas to look at here: wider range of technical knowledge, but also sales technique are the 2 areas that we've identified. In terms of sorting out the first one, really the internet, going onto the websites BMW.com, YouTube channels, listening to reviews, watching reviews, talking to different members of the team as well to get a view from them, to learn from them. And I've committed to giving you a car to use in week 2 for 3 days.
Okay.
But what I'd like from that, please, is a summary of your experiences, what you like.
Yes.
And I'd like a detailed view of what you think of the car and how you can use your own stories, for example, to sell. And that should hopefully get us on the road for your technical knowledge. In terms of the actual selling techniques, John we know is very good, so we'll have to convince him to help you. So I'll leave you and your natural charm to talk to John. Researching the market, I think, is a good one. So I'll leave you to decide which websites you go to research the market, the competitors, to find out about the infrastructure, the charging stations, and the concept of sustainable living as well. Government websites, YouTube. So there's a lot of research, I think, that needs to be done that perhaps you haven't done in the past, but I think this is a good foundation. Milestones in 2 weeks' time, and I'll send you the date. You'll give us a presentation. I think it would be nice, not just about the car, but everything else. Because I think everybody will learn from that, and suddenly you can go from maybe not the most knowledgeable person to the most knowledgeable person in 2 weeks' time. And you can be the leading light.
I will try.
And John will have to look in his mirrors because you might be sitting there.
I will try.
How does that sound?
Yes, that all sounds achievable.
Okay, well, I'll drop you an email with everything that we've talked about. And I would say to you, if you could arrange a meeting with me for 3 weeks today, this time in 3 weeks' time, we'll then do an overall review. I'll send you the date for the meeting where you have to prepare. And just keep me up to date with what you're doing and how you're progressing. Please don't let me come and hunt you down for information. So you need to keep me up to date. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Brilliant stuff. Do you have any questions from your side?
No, I don't think so. That's all covered.
Okay, achievable?
Yes.
Okay, so 6 is what we're aiming for in a month. So I'm going to leave you to manage that and just keep me up to date with what's going on. But I'll send you a summary of this meeting with everything we need, and then you can disappear off and get yourself ready.
Great.
All right, brilliant. Thanks a lot, Charlotte. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.